Welcome back, everyone. I'm Andy Craig, your guide through the intricate world of Amazon advertising. If you're new here, I'm the founder of Ad Habit, an Amazon advertising agency dedicated to helping brands of all sizes thrive on Amazon. With a wealth of experience working with 8-figure brands and startups alike, I've honed strategies that consistently drive revenue and profits for all of my clients. In our last video, we tackled PPC optimization, ensuring your campaigns are finely tuned for success. Today, we're diving deep into keyword harvesting and continued campaign launch, leveraging data-driven insights to propel your Amazon business forward. So stick around to learn from the best and take your Amazon game to new heights. Like most of my videos, I want to show you step-by-step exactly how to do this. So you're going to want to start off in Campaign Manager here. You're going to drop down, you're going to go to Advertising, jump over to Campaign Manager. Now, once you're in Campaign Manager, hopefully you've named your campaigns correctly by now, and you can actually find your campaigns quickly, which ones are your broad, your phrase, your autos, these campaigns that are driving a lot of search terms that may not be the exact search terms you're going after. If you watch some of the videos before, you know there's exact match where you're going to target pretty much that exact keyword. The broad phrase ones you're going after. Amazon is going to help you to find more keywords, adding keywords to the end, the middle, and the beginning of each one of your ads. And your auto campaigns where you can select different automatic target groups where Amazon kind of pushes out all of your ads to where they think you might convert the best. And of course, there are category targeting campaigns. Those categories will go after similar products in the category of your choice. And there's a ton of other ones, retargeting and all that. I'm not going to get too deep into that. In the beginner series, that's going to be more towards the advanced series. So what you want to do is find some of those campaigns. So as you scroll through all your campaigns, find your broad match ones. Now, this is the difficult way of doing this. In a minute here, I'm going to show you the better way to do this, the faster way to do this. But open up one of your broad match, your auto, your phrase match campaigns. And once you get into there, you're going to want to go to ad groups, go click into the ad group. Once you're inside the ad group, you're going to go to search terms. Now, once you're in here, once you click search terms, now you're going to see here the keywords column. It's going to be blurred out in this video because this is one of my clients, but this is the keyword column here. Right, that's what your ad is actually going after, and then the customer search term is the search term the customer actually sees, they click on, and possibly purchase your product. Now, when we're harvesting keywords, what you want to do is find the keywords that are driving sales, and these ones you want to launch into new campaigns if they don't already exist in campaigns. So what I like to do is just go ACOS high to low. So filter by ACOS. Now we can start to see the keywords or ASINs that are actually driving sales at a good ACOS. So what you want to do is come up with some sort of criteria on at what point am I going to harvest the keywords? Am I going to wait for one order? Am I going to wait for two? Am I going to wait for longer periods of time? What look back period am I going to use? Right now I'm looking at 7 days. Usually I would recommend probably looking at around a 30-day period for this. So let's switch to 30 days. Now, what you're likely to see are keywords that have, usually multiple orders depending on, how big your account is, how often you're getting sales. So you can either decide to launch keywords after they get one sale to certain ACOS, right? So come up with that criteria. At what point am I going to harvest keywords? Is it below a certain ACOS? Am I going to wait for one order or 2 orders? And this really depends on the stage of your business. If you're just getting started, I would recommend every time you get an order, let's launch it and try to get as many sales as I possibly can. If you're more established and you got a lot of consistent sales coming in, you might want to wait for the keywords that perform the best, that have a good ACOS and are driving multiple orders. Now what we want to do is we want to take these keywords and we want to copy them and compare them against our existing campaigns. Now that is a little bit more difficult here in Campaign Manager unless you have an ongoing list of all your keywords. Now I'm going to show you a better way to do that because you don't want to launch duplicate. If you have this keyword here already in an exact match campaign, you don't want to go and launch it again, right? Because that's just going to split the data between 2 campaigns, a lot harder to control. And when the data split, one might be performing good, one might be performing bad. We want to get a complete data on a single keyword level. Now you can come over here and go add as keyword, and that's just going to launch that keyword into that same campaign. You could select exact broader phrase. And you don't want to do that. We want to keep exact match campaigns in one campaign, broad in one, phrase in one, and not really overcrowd a single campaign with a bunch of keywords. So I do not recommend to do things that way. I recommend to launch a new campaign and maybe have 5 keywords, 10 keywords in that campaign, and not necessarily launch into the same campaign over and over again. We just found out better ways to do it over time, and it is better to launch those new campaigns. All right, so go through here, get a list of the keywords, which, like I said, I'm going to show you a better way to do that here in a minute. But you want to figure out which ones you do want to launch and how do you compare them against the current ones. What I recommend to do and what we do is we download a bulk file. right, you're going to go into right here. You're going to click on bulk operations and you're going to see this here. So what I would recommend to do is go last 30 days, right? Include items with 0 impressions. I just download it the same way every time. It's fine to do it this way. You can add your brand assets if you want. We don't do terminated campaigns. You create that spreadsheet, and what you're going to see is something like this. You're going to have your portfolios, your sponsored product campaigns, brands, display, and you're also going to have that search term report. Now, I'm going to show you the 2 different ways to get the search term report. Now, Amazon does have it in that bulk file. So if you go back to here, you can see that sponsored product and sponsored brand search term report. And this is where we're going to harvest our keywords from. And basically, it is the same thing as clicking your search term here, except this report is going to pull your search terms from every single campaign, every single ad group, all in one file, so you don't have to click and open every single campaign and try to figure out where you left on Flash, try to copy all this stuff. It's a lot more difficult here. Now, you can export this, but it's better to export everything in one. It's a lot easier to do it that way. And then once you're here, what I recommend to do is we're looking to see if you already have these keywords launched in a campaign. So what you could do is run a filter, clear everything out, go down to the keyword level. You can also do product targeting. We'll do that, separately. Now, what you could do is take all your keywords, let's say exact match, right? Filter it down to exact match. Grab all your keywords. This account here, this bulk file is just a sample one that I have. It's not very big, but let's say you copy all these. And then what I have learned in the past, and I believe I learned this from Mansoor from Incrementum Digital, is this listdiff.com. This is a good one. Now, we do everything in spreadsheet. If you don't like spreadsheets, you don't have to do it there. If you want to compare 2 lists, what you could do is paste your exact match keywords in here. And then the ones you want to launch from the search term report, we're going to paste in there. Now, instead of grabbing it from your campaign like this, what we're going to do is we're going to either grab the search term report from our bulk file and do it that way, or you could download your search term report separately, which you don't really need to do now, but I'll show you anyways. You're going to click here, go to sponsored ad reports, and once you're here, you're going to create a report right here, sponsored product search term. Now, you're going to want to do the same process for sponsored brands as well. You go to sponsored brand and go to search term here, and then you have sponsored display, and you have this match target report in sponsored display that you can download, right? So in this video, we're going to stick with sponsored products. Sponsored brands is going to be the exact same. You're going to run this report, and then you're going to get something that looks like this, okay? Now, in here, we're going to have that same customer search terms, right? You're going to have the actual keyword that you're targeting, and then you're going to have all the data. Now, it's much easier now because we could run filters for everything and grab things out. Let's say we only want to start with one portfolio. We could do that. We could do portfolio 1, run through that, launch all the ads for portfolio 1. Now, what we like to do is we'll separate our portfolios by our parent listing. So that's really a good way to do it. Launch all, the portfolio 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, kind of go through that process. So what you can now do is come over and run some filters. You can say, okay, what is driving sales? You can go ACoS high to low once again, right? These super high ACoS ones, we obviously don't want to run. Right, but the good performers, let's say, maybe my criteria is everything under 40%, you want to run. But we don't want to do exact match. So that's another thing we're going to get out of here. We're going to get rid of exact match. We're also going to go to targeting and get rid of ASIN equals. So we're going to get rid of all of our product targeting ones. We're going to hit clear there. So now we just have auto, your broad, your phrase, your category targeting stuff. Right? So now we are going by ACoS. So let's say everything under 40% ACoS, maybe that's what I want to grab, right? You can copy the list of all of those. What you could do is, let's say everything under 40%, which is going to be here. So let's grab this, Control Shift down, and that's going to grab everything, right? But it's also going to grab that, the ASINs in there as well. So what you could do is go back to your bulk file, also include not just exact match, but let's add your product targeting in here as well. So now we have product targeting, and then you could also grab all of the, the ASINs over here. They're going to be in this column, not, this column. All right. Now, once you have it, you're going to paste one list in column A, one list in column B, and down here it's going to show you which ones are only in B, which ones are only new keywords. And then you're going to take that list of keywords and launch them into new campaigns. Now, I'm not going to show you how to launch the campaigns. We already went through launching campaigns. You could do it in Amazon. You could do it through bulk sheets. We do it through bulk sheets, a lot easier that way, or there's tons of softwares that you could use. But the theory behind this is these keywords have already proven themselves, right? They've already drove sales. And it looks like I did Control Shift down, but what you could do is only, bring things that drove sales. So in the 7 days total sales, you could get rid of everything that didn't make a sale. So this list is going to be a lot shorter. We'll go back to the top. We'll go, Control Shift down from here, and we'll grab all the ones that actually drove some sales here. All right. And then you'll put that into the list, and then put the other one into the list, and then you'll get unique terms that are only in the search term report, but not in your exact match campaigns. All right. So that's the best way to do that. Go through, add them this way, or if you're really good with spreadsheets, there's formulas you could run. If you have any questions about what those formulas are, put it in the comments below. I'll let you know exactly how to do that. Send over a Loom video for you, not a problem, and you'll be up and running in no time. All right, so now that we did that, we'll launch those campaigns. Like I said, you'll launch those campaigns into new campaigns. And this is a process that I recommend you do on a weekly basis, kind of harvest your keywords. Now, the next thing we want to look at outside of just launching them from our search term report into exact match is you could also launch them into broad and phrase, right? So check them against your broad and phrase campaigns. You can launch them there. Now, launching too many campaigns all at the same time can really increase your ad spend. So I would recommend to come up with some criteria, what your bids are going to be set at. You could use Amazon suggested bid. What I like to do is go after my CPC of my existing campaigns. So if you come into Amazon here, you could go under this and you could find your CPC. What is that average CPC of your account? And you could launch them underneath that, right? If you want to be conservative, you could start low, work your way up. If you want to be more aggressive, you could start with higher bids. Right, so you could start low. You could also run some filters, only look at certain ad types and match types. You can also jump into that targeting report. You can actually filter out by exact, by broad, by phrase, and figure out what the CPC is for those different match types. You can go filter, and then you can go targeting type. That's going to give you exact, phrase, broad, product targets, right? And you could, come in here, exit out one of these, and add that CPC column, which is going to be right there, right? You can figure out what that CPC is for the match type. So if I click exact here, I know my CPC for exact match is going to be $3.73. That is my CPC for exact match. Now this account here, this is an account that has a huge repeat purchase, right? So this client is happy to have a high ACoS because they know the lifetime value of a customer is much higher. Very competitive category, and they are fine with having a high ACoS because overall that customer comes back and buys a lot more and tacos remains low. Now what you may want to do when you're launching broad and phrase match, maybe exact match you're okay with one order, but maybe with broad and phrase match, maybe you want at least 3 orders, right? You can run some filters there, say anything over 3 orders, yeah, let me launch these into broad and phrase. So we'll go through that same process, copy all these customer search terms that have made multiple orders, compare them against your existing broad and phrase match keywords, go back into that bulk file to copy all those, simply come in here, go by match type, get rid of exact match, and then we're going to jump over to broad. Do broad at one time, and then do phrase at one time, check them all against your current broad match, and then check them all against your current phrase match. Run those lists, figure out which keywords are possibly new that you can launch into broad and phrase. These ones have more than proven themselves because they brought not just one order, but over 3 orders, right? That's a much better sign that they're a great performer. Don't forget about the ACoS, go under that target ACoS, or you can look at the conversion rate. If it's converting really well, that might be another sign to launch broad and phrase match for it. Broad and phrase match can do a really good job of not just getting a lot of sales, but they could also find new keywords that you never even knew existed, that are new, right? That your customers are looking for. You might not be able to find these keywords in these tools like Helium 10 and Data Dive, right? Amazon is going to find them for you. So I do suggest to run broad and phrase. And if you want to be conservative, start with your bids low and slowly work your way up as you're getting the clicks. All right. Now we want to run through the same exact process for our ASIN targeting. And we want to check all your current ASIN targeting against all the ASINs through your ASIN expanded, your category targeting campaign. So it's going to be a pretty similar process there. You'll check them. If they're a good performing keyword, you could possibly launch them into ASIN expanded, launch them from sponsored products over to sponsored brands. You could launch sponsored brand video targeting. You could launch sponsored display targeting on keywords, right? You could kind of graduate them from one ad type to another ad type and trying to grow, get more impressions, get more clicks, get more purchases. And this helps to grow your Amazon advertising account, grow your sales, get more organic sales, lower the BSR, all this stuff. It's the Amazon flywheel. It kind of works together. As you get more sales, you get more sales, right? Now the next thing we want to look at is we already launched some exact match. We already launched some phrase match. we launched a broad match. Now there's a lot of other ad types that you could possibly launch, from top of funnel to bottom of funnel. Now in my experience, what I've seen, most of the sponsored display stuff is a little bit more top of funnel. Now Amazon has really launched a lot more of this stuff recently, to where, just regular sponsored display. I'm not going to get too deep into the reach, the page visits, the conversions. Now, what you're usually going to see is just sponsored display product targeting, right? You can go after individual products. You can enter a list of those products right here, and this is going to be a little bit more bottom of funnel. If you're not familiar, bottom of funnel just means, closer to the person that wants to buy a product. Top of funnel is a little bit more people are just kind of searching around. All right, so if we go into it, what is more top of funnel? Category could be a little bit more top of funnel. We're not going to suggest the categories, but you can search through things here. You go search through it, and you can try to find your category, right? You can go arts and crafts and sewing. Now, if you actually add your product here, up above right here, Amazon is going to suggest you certain categories, and they're going to also, apply some similar to advertised products. Now, that's something I definitely want to get into. Go after your category, start with your bids low, start to work your way up. I've seen category targeting campaigns do really, really well in accounts, so I suggest that you test it. Now, what you're also going to see if we go switch from contextual targeting to audience targeting is Amazon has some audiences. They're going to have lifestyle audience, interested things that people are in market for, if they have a new baby, if they're getting married, different things like that. So you could dive into that, look at all those different ones. I'm not going to make this video too long, but you have views remarketing, people who have viewed your products or similar to your products in the past. And then if we go back, you also have purchases remarketing, people who have purchased your products or purchased products similar to yours in the past. Now you can look at different look back windows. You can look at 30 days, 90 days, all kinds of things like that. All right, so I can exit these out. And let's say I want to go search, right? We can search it that way, or go back to the purchases remarketing, and you can switch between the 7, 14, 90. Now, depending on the life cycle of your product, if yours is a consumable product, that might make a decision on how often you kind of want to have that look back period go. Okay, so I think this purchases remarketing, views remarketing is a little bit more bottom of funnel, to where the audience stuff is a little bit more top. So I would definitely recommend to launch these. And then, one of the most important things is add this custom image or this custom video. Sponsored display video is still pretty new, but I suggest to test it out as well. You can go towards your detail page of your product or land on one of your storefronts. Now let's jump into sponsored brands. Okay, sponsored brands can work wonders. I love sponsored brands. You can run headline search ads, so you have a nice custom image that shows up right there at the top of the page on Amazon, which is now a requirement. So if you're going to run these, have an image ready, or you could use Amazon AI image generator. That is something you could do. So as we scroll through here, you're going to see your product collection, which is going to be the headline search ad. Same thing with the store spotlight. And then the video is going to be a video that shows up in search as well. And the video can show up on product pages now as well. I've seen it perform much better in search, but you could go towards a landing page, a product detail page, or you can go towards a specific product, whatever you want. All right. So, let's say we want to launch any one of these, right? You can go after keywords, you can go after product targets, anything like that. You could even go after categories now, which you couldn't do before. So categories is a new thing we can go after here. And one of my clients, that is their best performing campaign, is their video targeting against a category, right? You may not know if it's going to work, but it can work very well. Now, still my favorite thing to do is go after keywords, right? You know which keywords are going to be your main keywords, so I highly suggest to start to test that out. Now, we're going to do the same thing as we do with sponsored products. We're going to launch exact in one campaign, broad in one campaign, phrase in another. So don't leave these checked, right? Launch exact in one campaign, then a phrase in one, broad in another. Now, sponsored brand broad match, you want to be very careful with, right? What you want to do is run something called a broad match modifier. So if we go over here to enter list, we go broad match. So let's say you're going after a garlic press. Instead of just putting garlic press in broad match here, you're going to put garlic press. Amazon will show you for random things like kitchen products, right? What you want to do is put a plus in front of each word, and that's going to give you a broad match modifier. That is very important for sponsored brand ads because Amazon doesn't treat it the same way as sponsored products. Broad match modifier is going to make sure you only show up when somebody types in garlic and press. Okay, so I recommend to do that if you're going to run sponsored brand broad match. Okay, now these can be really, really good campaigns. I've had clients to where, they've gotten 50% of all their PPC sales through sponsored brands just because they had such a great converting video. So if you got, you don't have to have the best video. I've had unboxing videos. I've had, just sliding images that do really well. All right, so test it out. Like everything, test it out and see how it works. This is how you go in and do it. You can do it product targeting, keyword targeting, category targeting, all kinds of stuff. Right, so as you're going on with your PPC, as you're launching sponsored products, sponsored brand, sponsored display, right, you're going to want to keep testing out more things. This is how you're going to grow your advertising account. Now, you don't want to launch a ton of campaigns all at once, especially if things are not performing well. You want to start bottom of funnel and slowly work your way up. Okay? So if you have any questions about, a campaign to launch, put in the comments below. You can email me. You can go to the website and contact us. I'm happy to walk you through it, jump on a video call, anything like that. Now, last but not least, we do have sponsored TV ads, which do still show up here in beta. And we've tested it out with some clients. It's very, very top of funnel, super high cost per clicks. It is actually a VCPM, which is view per 1,000 impressions. So I don't recommend to run these. We've seen VCPM not really perform very well, especially the sponsored TV ads. So approach that with caution. One of our clients demanded that we run it and he was not happy after we did. So be careful with those sponsored TV ads. Let's stick to these main three, especially when you start. You want to mainly do sponsored products, usually 80-90% of your spend. Sponsored brands, usually 10 to 20% of the spend. Or sponsored display, I've seen it mostly run 5-10% of the spend. Okay, obviously those add up to more than 100%, but test it out. If it's working well, push more ad spend towards it. If it's not performing well, take away ad spend from it and test out different things. All right, this is not a one-size-fits-all type strategy. This is something you need to test, figure out what works, and adapt and optimize over time. All right, well done, everyone. By harnessing the power of keyword harvesting and campaign launch, you're well positioned to dominate the Amazon marketplace. Remember, I'm here to help you navigate this ever-evolving landscape, so don't hesitate to reach out with any questions or insights. In our next video, we'll explore advanced techniques to trim the fat and optimize your campaigns for peak performance. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more invaluable tips and tricks. Until next time, keep selling.